What's up, everybody? It's your boy Jacob, Pick Management, here with the Prince of Picks, betting royalty, Payam, back for another NBA Betting Insiders. This show is the best NBA show out there, 7 days a week, even though we missed yesterday, sorry. But really, we usually plan for 7 days a week. But we are here. We are ready to give our best bets, player props, and more for tonight's NBA slate. Payam, say hello to the people. Let them know how you're doing.
Hey, yeah, what's up, everyone? Like Jacob said, we're aiming to do 7 days a week. I had some emergency situations come up yesterday, so unfortunately, I wasn't able to hop on the show. But we're gonna get right back into it tonight. I think the last time we had a show was Monday. Had a winning night that night. Went 3-2 in my bets. So we're still having a profitable season. And like you said, where else are you gonna get a show 7 days a week? We're the best NBA betting show out there. You're not gonna want to go anywhere else. We cover a variety of sports. This brand is growing, so hop on the train now before everyone else gets on. You guys can say that you're one of the first. You were part of the grassroots movement here. So, but yeah, man, doing good. I actually have a ton of bets tonight. So, you guys, want to get a cup of coffee, grab a pen and paper, settle in because this is the most bets that I've ever given so far on this show in just one night. So I really like a lot of games, a lot of props, a lot of lines here tonight. So I'm looking forward to getting into it.
Right on. Well, we have a 10-game NBA hump day slate. It's Wednesday night. We're going to tip off with this first game, the Celtics versus T-Wolves, but I'm going to throw it over to Payam so he can give you his best bets, breakdowns, and more. I'm going to chime in with some of my analysis and best bets and all the good stuff you guys are here for, and we will get you out of here. So, Payam, let everyone know what you're on for tonight's NBA slate, and we will get into it.
Yep. So we got a total of 14 bets tonight. So first up, we're gonna head to Detroit where the Pistons are hosting the San Antonio Spurs. For this game, I am taking the Detroit Pistons first quarter +1. That's currently at -105. Detroit has been within 2 points or winning in each first quarter of their last 8 games. So this is a team that, for whatever reason, whether they're getting out to a hot start or their opponent is taking them lightly because of their record. Either way, they're competitive in the first quarter. And +1, I'll take it. You could also take the money line if you want, but I'll take +1 just in case the quarter ends in a tie. I still win. Or we still win, I should say. I'm also going to be on the game total over 239. That's at -110. Both teams are currently bottom 5 in the league allowing points defensively. So Detroit is averaging 121 points per game in their last 7, and the Spurs are giving up 121 points per game in their last 7. So I think neither team is going to be able to stop each other. I just see 239 seems like a pretty low number, to be honest. I like for that to get over. And then I'm also going to be on Detroit Pistons +5.5 for the full game. That's at -135. I think the Pistons, I think they can compete. This is one of the few teams in the league where they're not going to look across the other side of the court and say, damn, we don't have a chance. This is a team that, both teams are going to be like, yeah, we can win this game. I think it's going to be close. Again, I think it's going to be high scoring, but I think it stays within 5 points. So I'm taking Detroit +5.5. Jacob, did you have anything for this one?
Not really. We've seen this line kind of move all over the place so far. I'm leaning Spurs for a game win. The line's currently at minus 2.5 now.
Yeah, I bought it up to 5.5,
yeah.
but yeah.
So
Okay.
at Bovada it's +3, consensus line +2.5. So that +5.5 at one. What did you have it at 135?
Yeah, I had it at 135.
It's now -165. So if you're gonna
Wow. Okay.
grab it fast. Part of the reason why we're seeing this number and move so much is 63% of the bets, but 93% of the money is on the Spurs spread for this game. So we are seeing sharp money, big money, public money, all kind of pouring in on the Spurs here. So for that reason, that's why I'm leaning. But with the plays you have picked out, Detroit first quarter and the over, I think are 2 great plays. And since you did buy it up, the chance that those numbers aren't really affecting you, and there's a good chance that this Pistons Spurs game is close down to the wire and you cover it easily. So
yeah, I mean, I get it. I get why the money's on on the Spurs. I mean, I get when you have an 18-point lead in the first quarter and you end up losing the game by 21. The night before. I mean, I get it. But I just don't think there's very much between these two teams. And with Detroit being at home. I don't, 5.5. I think.
Listen, I only have this as a 1-point Spurs win, so
yeah.
I mean, I have the spread being covered, and how can you really take a team minus anything when they are overall 3-20, whatever? What is it? What's their overall record?
Detroit. Detroit is 32, 33.
And
Spurs are like
5
maybe
and 30.
5 and something. Yeah, 5 and 30. So
So
not much difference.
It's a tough ask, but both teams 21. I'm sorry, Spurs are 21-13-1, and the Pistons are 23-13-1 to the over. So
there you go. Okay, perfect.
Moving on.
Yep, moving on. So we're gonna go to Indiana, where the Pacers are hosting the Washington Wizards. For this one, I'm on Washington first quarter. Plus 2.5. That's currently at minus 110. I think there's going to be an emotional letdown for the Pacers from the Halliburton injury. That's a pretty significant injury for that team. I think, they might come out a little, I don't want to say lackadaisical, but maybe just trying to adjust to, the beginning life without Halliburton for the foreseeable future. He's projected to be out at least 3-4 weeks. I'm all over Wizards first quarter plus 2.5. I think they keep it close in the first quarter. And I'm also going to be on Washington plus 10.5 for the full game. I just think that, I think the Pacers are a totally different team without Halliburton. He is their engine. He is by far their most important player on the team. And I think they're going to have to adjust. I think there's a lot of adjustment that's going to need to be done. I think all the statistics that, that they've been having throughout the year, throughout the season rather, is a large part because of Halliburton. So I just think this team is gonna have some tough times adjusting to life without him. I'm also going to go game total under 252 for those same reasons. And then for player props, I'm on Miles Turner over 8.5 rebounds. That's currently at plus 100. The Wizards are the worst rebounding team in the league. So for me, this is more of a system play. Miles Turner is, he's a quality rebounder. I think he can get over 8.5 in this game. Do you have anything for this one?
I do, but first, what was your Wizards spread?
I bought it up to 10.5, and I got that at about minus 160. That was last night.
That line may have moved too. I'm not sure if that's totally available anymore, but if you shop around to find it, you probably it's still available for sure. The line is currently plus 8, so you can get that minus 165 currently.
There you go.
Okay. So shop around though. You probably find it a little bit cheaper elsewhere. I play offshore, so you kind of get stuck with what you got. But for me on this game, we have seen this total move all over the place. It opened at 253, went down to 251, then 249, then 252.5, then 250, then 251, now 252. I mean, it is all over the place. So it is difficult for me to jump on it just because of what's happened, but these two teams against each other have played 2 high-scoring games so far. So depending on where the line is at, I might take this over 250. Waiting to see final lineups and whatnot later. So make sure to check the socials at Pick Management for my official best bets. But for now, I do have a lean towards the over. As for a winner in this game, I am not touching it. I can't give 8 points with the Pacers, and I can't take 8 points with the Wizards. So
sure. I guess my angle for the going under 252 is the Wizards have seemed to regress offensively, and the Pacers have seemed to improve defensively. And I'm just not sure if they'll be able to maintain their same offensive level, the Pacers that is, without Halliburton. So I kind of expect a slight regression from the Pacers offensively.
Winners 7 out of the last 8. Indy's been hot. I said it during the in-season tournament. This is a historically good offense with a historically bad defense.
But how many of those games did Halliburton play?
I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
Okay.
But what happens to a historically good offense when their historically bad defense gets to like the 25th worst defense in the league? You know what I mean? Just a little bit of defense.
Mhm.
So, when we're talking defense and the Pacers, we're not talking Tyrese Halliburton. We're talking other guys. So without Tyrese Halliburton, I don't think their defense is going to be that much more affected. I think they're going to run and gun. I think the Pacers are going to be, shooting the shit out of this ball because that's how the Wizards are going to let them play because that's the Wizard style of play. So that is why I am on the leaning towards the over, but I do love the rest of these bets. The 10.5 that you have with the Wizards, I think that is definitely coverable. And then first quarter and Miles Turner plays are excellent choices. Moving on.
All right, cool. So for the viewers out there, let's make that an official showdown. I'm on the under. Jacob's on the over. All right.
All right. All right. Fuck
Let's
it.
do
Yeah,
it.
you
All
can
right, let's
force
do
my
it.
hand. I'll take a
All
best
right,
bet on
cool.
that.
Perfect. Let's do it. All right. Next up,
But we can't do that
Yeah.
because you have under
What?
252. I have
Oh,
over
we don't have the
250.
same number.
Yeah,
Oh shit.
sorry.
Okay, fine. We'll skip that one for now. We'll agree to disagree. Unless it's 251, then we both win. All right. Next up, we're gonna go to Charlotte, where the Hornets are gonna be hosting the Sacramento Kings. For this one, I'm on Charlotte first quarter +2. Currently at -105. The Hornets have won 6 of their last 10 first quarters, and 2 of those 4 losses in the first quarter were by 2 points or less. So they've been pretty competitive. You can say in 8 of their last 10 first quarters. Kings on the opposite side have won just 3 of their last 9 first quarters. Their average first quarter loss has been by 10 points in 6 of their last 9 first quarters. So this is a Kings team that has really been struggling getting out of the gates, going against a Hornets team who has really been overachieving in the first quarter. So with the Hornets being at home, I am all over Charlotte first quarter +2. I'm also going to take Sabonis over 14 rebounds. I get it. It's a large number, -130, but Charlotte 28th in the league in rebounds. Their starting center, Mark Williams, is out. And Sabonis is just a rebounding machine. He's just one of the best rebounders in the league. And against a soft Charlotte rebounding team, Sabonis coming off a triple-double last night. I think 14. I think you can get it. I think you can get over 14. So I'm going to trust in him, and I'm going to take that bet. Did you have anything for this one?
I do. I have a couple things. So you touched on one of my plays, kind of. I'm going to be on Sabonis over 37.5 points and rebounds. He's just playing with his hair on fire lately. Over his last 12 games, averaging 23.4 points and 13.7 rebounds. He has combined for at least 37 points and rebounds in 7 out of the last 12. The last time he played the Hornets, he had 23 and 19. Mark Williams is still out for the Hornets. That would be the starter that is on Sabonis. So because of that, he gets to face backup Nick Richards. So I get it's a big number, but I think Sabonis goes off in this game. I think this is a big Sabonis game. So for that reason, I like that. And then I'm also going to be using the Kings in a parlay, which I will touch on later. So that's it for me for this one.
Cool.
Moving on.
Cool. Yep. All right. So next up, we're going to go to Atlanta, where the Hawks are hosting the Philadelphia 76ers. No Embiid in this one, but I am still going to take the first quarter Philly team total over 31.5. That's at -115. Atlanta is 28th in the league defensively at home. They are giving up 31 points per game in first quarters. So I'm only asking for one more point than what Atlanta averages defensively in the first quarter. Even without Embiid, I still think that this this Philly offense is good enough. And I think the Atlanta defense is bad enough. So first quarter over 31.5. And I'm also going to be on Tyrese Maxey over 31.5 points for the game. That's at +100 right now. Atlanta, again, 28th in the league defensively overall, as well as in the first quarter at home. And point guards have been averaging 26 points per game versus the Atlanta Hawks this season. So we're asking Maxey to get, about, a few more buckets than what, Atlanta averages defensively against point guards. Without no Embiid, Max is going to have the green light to get as much volume, opportunities, touches, points as he wants, shots up. So I'm all over his over 31.5. I'm going to stay away from a side just because, the Sixers have lost 3 of their last 4 without Embiid. They do tend to struggle overall this season when Embiid doesn't play. But so with Atlanta being at home, it's a little tricky spot for me to take a side. But those are the 2 bets that I'm on for that one. What do you have for this one?
So nothing official for me yet, but I will be taking the Sixers if no Trae Young. Currently questionable. May play, may not. It's looking more like not than yes. So if you do see that, grab it. Like I said, no Trae Young. Once we get that word, that'll be an official play or not. But otherwise, love the first quarter total. I think Maxey goes off against the Sox team.
Sure. Cool. All right. Next up, we're going to go to Utah, where the Jazz are hosting the Denver Nuggets. For this one, I'm on Denver, -6.5. That's at -115. I think this is going to be a statement game for Denver. I get it. Utah's been on a nice little run lately. They've won, what is it? I think 7 of their last 10. They've had some good wins in this win streak, but I think the bottom falls out here. I think everything comes back down to earth. This just feels like a prime spot for Denver to just obliterate this Utah Jazz team. I think Jokic is going to have a monster game, but I'm going to stay away from his full game props just, for the fact that there could very well be a blowout in the fourth quarter. But I will be taking Jokic over 6.5 points in the first quarter. That's at -115. I think he's going to set the tone against Philly. Against Utah. I think he's going to set the tone early. Sorry, is what I meant to say. He's going to set the tone early. He's going to want to, get this team rolling right away. I think he's just going to be the one to get these guys going and get this blowout started. So over 6.5 points first quarter for Jokic, Denver -6.5. Those are my 2 plays for that one. What are you on?
I got quite a few for this one.
Cool.
I am going to be on Denver first half money line -195. You guys know I'm not scared of juice because sometimes the juice is worth the squeeze. Make sure I touch back on that because I got some big news about that about the juice.
Yes, sir.
So I am going to be taking them on the money line for the first half because I think that they are going to dominate this Jazz team. Listen, the Jazz have gone off. Winners of 4 out of their last 5, playing great. But this Nuggets team is a different level. And I think even on the road, we're getting a good number here. I think the fact that Jazz have been playing better has kind of helped as well. But they played, I think, an injured Mavericks team, the Detroit Pistons, then they lost at the Celtics. And they did win on the road to the Bucks and Sixers, but I don't believe those were full squads.
Embiid was out.
Yeah,
Embiid was out. Yeah, for the Sixers.
Mm-hmm. So I can't put that much credit behind their
and I think Lillard was out for the Bucks. Yeah, sorry,
something like that. And I believe Lillard was out for that.
Yeah, he was out, right?
Regression comes for everybody, bettors, players. It doesn't matter, right? So, like I said, first quarter money line, I'm going to take Jokic over 24.5 points. Like you said, you touched on it. I think this is a statement game, and I think he is, playing hard and can easily surpass this. I'm also going to take the Nuggets team total over 122.5. While we have seen the Utah defense step it up a little bit, they've still been giving up over 100 plus points in most of their games. Like they gave up 148 to Detroit, 109 to Philly, 116 to Milwaukee. And I think a full strength Nuggets team should have no problem surpassing those kind of numbers. I'm also going to take the over 235 in this. I bought it down to -150. Jazz are 9-7 to the over at home. Nuggets 8-10-1 on the road. So not too much leaning towards that, but I think that because of the fact that the Nuggets are going to put up a lot of points, the Jazz are going to have no choice but to push the pace and do the same. And I think that's going to lead to a high scoring game. So to review, Nuggets first half money line, Jokic over 24.5 points. Nuggets team total over 122.5, and game total over 235.
Awesome, love it. All right, and then last up for me, saving the best for last for this one. We're gonna go to Chicago, where the Chicago Bulls are hosting the Houston Rockets. For this game, I am on Houston plus 3.5. I got that at minus 110. That is going to be my 3-unit lock of the day. I am going to hammer the Rockets in this on this 3.5. I'm also going to put some on the money line. For me, this is pretty short and simple. Houston is a better team. Houston is a better team than Chicago. Wrong team favored. I don't believe in this Bulls team. And I have a close-up look here, being here in Chicago, Chicago area suburbs here. I got a close eye on this Bulls team, and I'm telling you now, this team is fool's gold. This team is not as good as what people are thinking. And I just think Houston is in a prime spot here. I get it; they're a little bit different on the road than what they are at home. But again, I just think they're a far superior team than the Chicago Bulls. I think the Bulls are going to get exposed tonight. All over Houston plus 3.5 is my favorite play of the day. That's all I got for that, and that's going to end it for me for tonight.
All right.
Jacob, what's up with you?
So I have a couple plays on this Houston game. I'm going to take Houston plus 6 for all the reasons you just said. I did buy it up. It's at plus 4. Not so confident in an outright win, but do think that this is close down the stretch, and maybe a little bit higher scoring than we think. I'm also going to take their team total over 106.5 because, like I just said, I think this is going to be a little bit closer, a little bit higher scoring than people are assuming. I mean, the game total is only 216.5, but the Houston Rockets have passed that in 3 out of the last 5 games. If you go back, it's even better. 3 out of 5, 5 out of 4 out of 6, 5 out of 7. Yeah, like a whole bunch of their games. So I would say like 9 out of the last 11 games, I want to say they've gone over the game total of over 106.5 here. I think that's just a tad bit low. But to review, Payam is on Detroit first quarter plus 1, game over 239, and Pistons plus 5.5. He's also on the Wizards first quarter plus 2.5, Wizards Pacers under 252, Miles Turner over 8.5 rebounds, and Washington plus 10.5. He's also on Charlotte first quarter plus 2, and Sabonis over 14 rebounds. He's taken Sixers team total over 31.5 in the first quarter, and Maxey 31.5 over 31.5 points. He's on Denver minus 6.5, and Jokic over 6.5 points in the first quarter. And lastly, he is on the Rockets plus 3.5. I have a couple more picks for you guys, a couple money line plays, and total. I'm going to take this Celtics Wolves over 223. The Celtics, I think, are going to put a hurting on this Minnesota team, who on the road is just not that great. We see a lot of their defense kind of fall off because they're 12-8 to the over on the road, while the Celtics are 9-8 to the over at home. They're also 2-0 to the over on the second game of a back-to-back. They did play last night in Orlando. This is their 4th game in 5 days. All 4 of them will have been on the road. They just played at the Rockets. They played at the Mavs. They played at the Magic last night, and now taking on this Boston team. I think is a tall order. And I think because of that, I think the Celtics are going to put up a lot of points, and the T-Wolves are going to do just enough to help push this over. So I could easily see this being like a 125, 110 kind of game for the Celtics. I think Celtics win here. 8.5 is still a lot for a T-Wolves team who is best or second best in the West. And this would also be only the second time. Oh, actually, no, they did win their last game. The Twins have the Twins. Minnesota has only lost back-to-back games once all year long, but they did not lose it their last game, so I guess that doesn't really matter. So, like I said, I'm going to take the Celtics T-Wolves over 220 let's make it over 223, not 223.5. That way we can hopefully catch a push if it ends right on the number. Moving on, I'm on. You didn't have anything, right? You're all set.
No, I'm with you. Yeah, I just think
All right,
Boston,
cool.
has more pedigree than
Yeah,
Minnesota. So I got you.
the Heat are without Jimmy. They are without someone else. Let me pull up their injury report. Caleb Martin also out. Kyle Lowry also out. So those are the couple of injuries that we've seen in the last few days for the Heat. Taking on a red hot OKC team who's 23 and 11 and 1 against the spread. On the road, 9-6 and 1 as a favorite, 14 and 7, and versus teams that win greater than 55% of their games. They have covered the spread in 11 out of 16 games. So they're 11-4 and 1 versus teams that win more than 55% of their games. And versus teams allowing more than 102 points, they're also 20-11 and 1. And after a day off, 20-10 and 1. So all the stats here are leaning towards a OKC cover. So I'm not even going to worry about the points here. Now minus 4.5. It opened, I think, -3. I'm just going to take the money line, -180. Keep it simple. Get the outright win here and catch your ticket, move on. And then lastly, I got to go down to New Orleans to the Pelicans. I'm going to be on the Pelicans money line -130 versus the Golden State Warriors. The big reason why I'm on this game is because of the Pelicans' 3-point defense. They have one of the best 3-point defenses in the league. Right here. Sorry guys. Warriors are 5-12 against the spread as a home favorite, and the Pelicans have the second best 3-point defense in the entire NBA. Something that the Warriors it's their bread and butter right now. They are living and dying on the three. We know Curry and Clay. That's what they do. So to play a team that is the best at shutting that down, I think they could be in some trouble here. So while the Pelicans on the road they're 21-15 and 1 against the spread overall, but on the road 9-7 and 1, while the Golden State Warriors are 6-13 and 2 at home. When the spread was close like this, between 1 and 2.5 and plus 2.5, the Golden State Warriors are only 1-4 against the spread. And versus teams that win between 45 and 55% of their games, the Pelicans are 4-1 against the spread. So a lot of things leaning this way for the Pelicans. And I think that, I know Zion is, caveat on this. If Zion's out, this is a no play. Right now, he's questionable. I think he plays. But if he does not play, this is a no play. And then lastly, I had mentioned earlier, I'm going to use the Kings money line in a parlay. I'm going to be throwing the Kings and the Clippers together in a money line parlay. Pays -160. I think the Clippers are going to just smash this Toronto team. Or really, this Clippers defense, best in the league. Since Harden's got there, this team has just been nasty, balling out. In Toronto on the road, not the best team in the league. I have this game projected at 122-109 for the for the Clippers. Clippers 11-8 against the spread at home. They're 6-11 and 2 to the under. A lot of defensive stats leaning their way here. And they're 17-11 as a favorite, just overall. So I do like the Clippers as a 10-point favorite just to get an outright win at home. Should not be too much of a problem, especially considering the fact this is the fourth game in 5 nights for Toronto and their 5th road game in a row. They just played the Lakers last night, so while they don't have to travel, they are still on the road. And they did lose last night 132-131 in heartbreaking fashion. So after a bad loss, taking on this Clippers team is not something that they're probably looking forward to. So to review for my plays, I am going to be on the Pelicans money line. I am on Sabonis over 37.5 points and rebounds. I'm on OKC -180. I'm on Houston +6 and their team total over 106.5. I'm on the Celtics and the Timberwolves over 223. I'm on the Kings Clippers moneyline parlay, and I'm on Denver first half moneyline. Jokic over 24.5 points. Nuggets team total over 122.5 and over 235 for the game. Pie Amazon Detroit first quarter +1 and over 239 for the game, and Pistons +5.5. He's on Wizards first quarter +2.5. Wizards Pacers under 252. Miles Turner over 8.5 rebounds, and Washington +10.5. In addition, he's on Charlotte first quarter +2. Sabonis over 14 rebounds. Sixers team total over 31.5 first quarter. Maxey over 31.5 points. He's on Nuggets -6.5. Jokic over 6.5 points in the first quarter. And lastly, Houston +3.5. Kyle, let the people know where they can find you.
Yes, sir. So you guys can follow me on X at Prince of Picks 10, also on TikTok at Prince of Picks 10. Make sure to follow us here on YouTube at Sports Betting Insiders. We got some cool new videos coming out. We got some soccer videos for the international soccer fans out there. We got an Asian Cup preview as well as an African Cup preview. So you guys are going to want to tune in. Check out the videos for match day 1. And I think Jacob has some exciting announcements for us as well.
Yeah, not yet.
Not yet.
I
Okay.
can't publicly
Okay.
say it yet, but
Sure.
I did just sign a couple big contracts. So some big things are coming down the pipeline for Pick Management brand and Sports Betting Insiders. Make sure you follow the Sports Betting Insiders here on YouTube. Socials coming soon. We do have a free Discord that you guys can join. All of our free play videos and posts from Twitter and TikTok go right to the Discord. So all your favorite best bets, leans, live bets, and more all in one place. Check the comment section below in the description to get the link there. Otherwise, I am Jacob at Pick Management. This is the Prince of Picks, Payam. You can find me, like I said, at Pick Management on Twitter and TikTok, and we will see you later.
It's all mathematics. Might be most definitely. It's simple mathematics.